And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. So, today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 most anticipated films of 2026. Now, here's the thing, my list might look different than your list. There's no right or wrong here or anything like that. But I would like to actually know what you guys think. What's your favorite movies that you're looking forward to in 2026? So, let's go on ahead. Let's talk about it. I'm excited to do this. So, let's do this, guys. Sorry about that. Fat fingers, people. Sorry about that. So, like I was saying, this is going to be my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2026. I have two honorable mentions that I want to talk about right now, though, just to get this out of the gate. So, my first one is going to be Supergirl. Here's the thing, I'm excited for it, but I'm not like on that hill like I was for Superman or anything like that. It just feels like a James Gunn type of movie, even though it's not supposed to be a James Gunn movie, but yet it also feels and looks like a James Gunn movie. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see Lobo. I'm excited to see Supergirl in her live action adaptation since the 1980s. But that's what I'm interested in. But maybe as time goes on, maybe that might actually get bumped up whenever it gets closer to the release date. But still, that's just one of those movies for me that is just an honorable mention right now. I'm excited for it, but I'm not on that hill like I was for Superman, unfortunately. The other one have to say that I'm excited for is like this is a horror movie. This is another horror movie that came out, I think, in 2019, but it's a sequel to it. It's called Ready or Not, and they actually have a. This is actually, like I said, this is actually a sequel to that movie. It's called Ready or Not 2. Here I Come. I definitely loved the very first Ready or Not. I thought it was fun. I thought it was an original idea. I thought it was a fresh take. Hey, Joey, how are you doing? It's great to have you in the live chat as always. I do appreciate that. But here's the thing, I love Ready or Not Part 1. Ready or Not 2 is something that I'm excited for, but yet again, it's one of those movies like, do I really need to go out to the theater to check this movie out? And the answer is no. This is a movie that I could probably go and stream it and stuff like that. But I like the originality behind Ready or Not Part 1. I loved what they did with it. I like the fact that, you have this girl who's playing these games with this family, and if they don't kill her, they'll explode. And you're going through this journey with her where at first she's just this fragile woman. And then it goes into her being like a total badass towards the end of it. But that's my two most anticipated. That's not my most anticipated one, but that's my two honorable mentions. So let's go on ahead. Let's talk about this. So I would have to go into this saying The Odyssey is hands down one of my most anticipated films of the year because of the fact that it's Christopher Nolan doing an Odyssey type movie in Rome. And I love the fact that they're keeping it to a T to how it looks in the history books and stuff like that. I thought I not only that, but I like the fact that Christopher Nolan doesn't use special effects, doesn't use CGI. He's always reinventing the wheel, always trying to figure out the best way to be the best storyteller that he actually is. And The Odyssey for me is one of those movies that I'm excited for because of the fact that you have a huge cast in this movie that anybody could actually take on this Oscar for next year. You have Matt Damon, you have Tom Holland, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway. The list just goes on and on. When you look at the list, it's come on. You got Robert Pattinson, Benny Sadu, you have Charlize Theron, John Bernthal, John Leguizamo. You have Elliot Page. You have a lot going on with this movie as far as the cast goes. So I'm definitely excited to see what this Greek mythology that Christopher Nolan is setting out to do. So that's another thing that I'm excited about as far as that goes. So the other one I have on my list, okay, is The Avengers Doomsday. So here's the thing. I haven't been excited for Doomsday or anything like that in a sense, but I'm excited to actually see what we're going to get as far as a full-length trailer goes, which is also why I did one 30-second trailer reaction, and that was it, because I'm like, I do not want to paste all these together and make my own scenes as if it's a comic book. I want to see it all come together in one trailer to where I can break it down to where I'm excited about it. But I am excited about this movie. The only thing that I wish that they would have done differently was cast somebody else's Doom, because of the fact, don't get me wrong, I love RDJ. I love what he did with Tony Stark. But I think that you could have actually gave that to somebody else that could actually give that character more to work with. You know what I mean? But I think it's just Marvel playing off the fact that, hey, look, this is our greatest hits. This is our greatest hits album. Do you like Thor? We got him. Do you like all these other characters from these other movies, like Chris Evans for Captain America? We got him. So it's basically playing their greatest hits, and they're playing into it. And they're playing it safe, it seems like, because they got RGJ back as Doctor Doom. But that's just a nitpick right now as far as that goes. But I'm definitely interested in this movie. I'm excited for it. I haven't been excited for a Marvel movie. Well, to be honest with you, I ended up being excited for Fantastic Four. But before that, I wasn't excited for any of the other stuff that we had prior before that. This is something that I'm actually looking forward to, just as I was for Captain America, just as I was excited for Fantastic Four, and also for the Thunderbolts as well. So now we're going to cover Dune 3 is also another one that's on my list. I love the Dune franchise. I think this franchise is really good. I really enjoyed the first two films. I think that this movie is going to get moved because of the fact that you have Avengers in the Avengers Doomsday movie coming in at the same time. So I feel like you need to go on ahead and play it safe. I understand you want this for the Oscars and things like that, but you also need to go ahead and do what's right here and move your movie, because otherwise I feel like Doomsday is going to take it all. Hey, Levis Sons, I do appreciate you. Dune was crazy. Yeah, Dune was a crazy movie. The first two, and not only that, but man, the cinematography around that movie, right? Because I love what they managed to do with the lighting, doing it in black and white. I love the how you have the different worlds. You also not only have the different world, but the different religions, the politics on each planet. It's an original idea that was born in the 1970s, and now we actually get a remake of Dune. And I just love the storytelling around Dune, to the point where this is why it's my most anticipated movie of 2026, is because of that. So now I'm going to go on ahead. I want to go on ahead and mix this up a little bit. I know I talked a little bit about Doomsday and Supergirl at the very beginning. So we have Masters of the Universe, which is my favorite cartoon back in the 80s, right? My favorite animated TV show growing up. And to see that we're actually getting a live adaptation of it, again, after the feel of the 1980s one that we had with Dolph Lundgren, here's the thing. I know that Jared Leto's attached to this, but he's always doing these over-the-top characters, right? And I think that Skeletor is one of those over-the-top characters to where he can actually do it. And he's going to be CGI probably. So you won't even get to see Jared Leto's face or anything. This is just him being able to just be this over-the-top villain that we know as of Skeletor. But at the same time, though, I would like something a little bit more serious than that. Maybe Star Wars meets maybe like a Star Wars meets Master of the Universe kind of thing, where you actually have some seriousness in it, and then you have some of that over-the-top comedy a little bit here and there. But I am definitely intrigued with it. I love Masters of the Universe. I'm excited to see He-Man back in live action format as well. I grew up with I was born in 85, but I grew up watching He-Man as a kid. And now that we might actually have a chance to see He-Man again in live action in 2026, I'm down for it. I'm definitely down to see what's going to happen. So now that I covered that, I do want to go back, and you know what? I was going to choose between two other comic book movies, or do I want to go on ahead and talk about do something a little bit different, which is talk about another video game adaptation. So here's the thing. I love Street Fighter. I love the Street Fighter 2 video game. I love the video games and stuff like that. I did not like the 1990s movie of Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And here's the thing. It looks like they're playing into this 1990s style of actually making this movie, and it's actually going to be in the 1990s. And they have the car there to actually give you the little bonus thing to where you can break the car up and stuff like that. So I like the fact that they put that into the movie. But I like the fact that they put that into this movie. And also, too, I like the fact that they're not taking it seriously or anything. I like the fact that we actually have pretty much a straight up video game adaptation without touching anything that we know, everything that we love about these characters. Because here's the thing. Street Fighter never really had any origin story to any of these characters. We just played these characters and beat the shit out of each other. That's all we did. And we get to, here's the thing, as us, as people that are playing it, we could actually come up with our own origin story for each character and stuff like that too. So it's going to be interesting on how the plot line is going to be as far as the Street Fighter movie is. But I will say one redeemable thing about Street Fighter, the 1990s movie, if it wasn't for the performance of the actor that played Gomez in the 1990s, Addams Family, I don't want to butcher his name, but if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't. That his performance was just fantastic in that movie in the 1990s. But anyways, but I also want to go on ahead and talk about Mortal Kombat 2. I'm excited for that. I didn't like the. I did not care for this part one of this remake of Mortal Kombat 1. I just didn't. I really thought one of the costumes looked like they came from a Halloween store, and one of the actors just put it on. But Kano was actually the standout in Mortal Kombat 1. But what makes me even more excited about this is we finally get Johnny Cage. Come on, you actually have Carl Urban playing Johnny Cage. This is actually a dream come true for me. I've been wanting Johnny Cage to come back again in another Mortal Kombat movie. I love the 1990s, very first 1990s movie of Mortal Kombat, and then they botched it with part 2. But I'm excited to see this again. And the little kid inside of me, the 9-year-old kid that's seen the original 1990s Mortal Kombat, is like, yes, I'm excited. Sign me up. Let's see what we have here. Let's do it. Let's go. Then we have, you know what? I think I'm actually going to go with Clayface for this, even though this is another comic book adaptation that I'm looking forward to. And this is dealing with the villain side of DC. And I'm excited about the fact that we finally get a Clayface movie, guys. To me, Clayface is an underrated villain. And you need to have, excuse me. And I feel like you need to have an underrated villain for this DC universe that James Gunn is creating. I love the idea behind it of a B-rated actor who had a mishap, and he is going to be this monster that Batman has to fight, or it's just a Clayface origin story. But either way it goes, I'm excited for Clayface. We never seen Clayface in a live-action adaptation or anything like that. I loved him in the Batman animated series back in the 1990s, but it makes me excited to be able to see it in its true form. Sorry, excuse me. So now I'm moving on to the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood spin-off movie, The Adventures of Cliff Booth. I love Tarantino's movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought it was a good movie. Then they're going to spin this movie off, and it's going to be a different director doing this, but it's still going to be Brad Pitt. And I want to see what he gets into. I'm excited about this. I'm definitely interested in this. I'm intrigued with the fact that, we actually get to see some of the other adventures that he was on. Maybe we might see something from Leonardo DiCaprio or something as well. Just the two of them with the dynamic that they had in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, to me, was fantastic. The chemistry was really good with that film. It was probably one of my favorite movies of 2019 at that time. And I remember just being intrigued with the soundtrack of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and just being intrigued with um, DiCaprio and Brad Pitt and that crazy ending and the flamethrower that happened in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So with this, I'm excited the fact to see how someone else handles Tarantino's work and stuff with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they take that mantle, and they do something else with those characters. So I'm definitely interested in that. So now we're moving on to, let's see, we talked about Dune, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I'm excited for this movie because we got John Bernthal back as the Punisher, even though he might be dubbed down a little bit and watered down. But I'm excited about that. This is going to be your street level Spider-Man that I've been wanting, the Spider-Man movie. So I'm definitely happy about that. I think that this might tie in with Daredevil, Born Again. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it would make sense because he's more of a street level uh, character who might actually have to go up against Kingpin. But that's just me speculating. I don't know much about the plot details or anything, but that's what I'm hoping it would be. But if it's not, I'm totally okay with that, because just because of a theory in my head does not mean that they have to go verbatim for what's in my head. So I'm just going to let the creators do their job, and I'll enjoy the movie for what it is. Then we have Resident Evil. So Resident Evil for me, I remember seeing um, Mila Jovovich in those films, and that to me was not a straight Resident Evil movie. I wanted Jill. I wanted everything I loved from the Resident Evil movies, and it wasn't there. I did like the first one with Mila. And then after that, it just became like action with zombies. I didn't like what they did with Nemesis. I thought that they did a terrible job with how they handled that character. But I'm intrigued with this because it looks like they want to go ahead and give us a true adaptation of that video game, which is something I'm really happy about. So if they give us a adaptation and know these characters of who they are and what they are and how much we love these characters, I think this could be a home run. I'm crossing my fingers and toes on this, that this is actually a home run for us. As someone that is a big, huge Resident Evil fan since the 90s, I'm excited to see what they do with this. I just hope they don't screw this up. So my last and final movie that I'm excited for is Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic. Now, the only thing that I'm kind of worried about is the fact that the family had made the studios to go in there and change the ending. So therefore, the director had to change everything up. So I don't know how much they're going to do with this or how much they're going to leave in or anything. But I'm interested because, number one, you have Coleman Domingo playing Michael Jackson's father. You also have someone that's related to Michael Jackson playing Michael Jackson, having his dance moves, knowing his dance moves. And I think this is going to win the Oscars. I think this is going to be a biopic that people are going to end up loving. I think that this biopic of Michael is definitely going to be one of those films that people are going to say, you know what, I definitely enjoyed this. I know people were knocking on the trailer and stuff like that on the teaser. I loved it. What else do you want from this trailer? You have someone of the Jackson blood doing and playing Michael Jackson. I feel like this is just one of those films that is going to make bank at the box office. I think that this movie is going to get Golden Globes noms. I think Coleman Domingo is going to win his first Academy Award with this movie for Best Supporting Role. And you can quote me on that right now. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my shoe. It's not my first time being wrong about something. But I'm telling you, this movie has legs. This movie's going to make bank. This movie, people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it. But the majority of the people that are going to love it are going to go back and see it again, just like Bohemian Rhapsody. People went on ahead and seen it a second time, third time, probably. Was singing along to the songs, just as this has that kind of feel to it. So my question for you, after I wrapped everything up with my top 10 movies of 2026, what are you guys excited for? I'd like to actually know. Tell me. Email me, movieloversunite@gmail.com. Also, too, we also have a letterbox. So go on ahead. I'll have that in the description below so that you guys can see my written reviews of some of the stuff that I didn't put on my channel that I ended up reviewing. Take a look at that. But that's going to be it as far as this goes. I'm sorry that my voice isn't holding up like I wanted to, but I just wanted to come out and talk to you guys and do a show and give you guys my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2026. So if you're watching on this on the replay, tell me what your favorite movies of 2026 that you would like to see, and what's some of the ones that you're not excited for. I'd like to know that as well. So I hope that everyone has a great and safe night, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. And Rossi's show will be starting in a couple of minutes. So go on ahead, check her channel out. She's going to be talking about video games on this channel. So check that out. All right, guys. Bye.